Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are basically going to chase some flowers here in the gardens. It is a cool, cloudy day here in North Carolina, our Zone 8A garden. And it was like, man, this is the perfect time to do a little, it's a garden tour, but literally I am just going to show you the plants that are blooming and just catching my eye, and I want to give them their due here in the videos before, you know, something happens, because like I said, is a cool cloudy day today. Makes great pictures. Next week we're going back up into the upper 80s, like almost into the 90s, and so these flowers may, you know, quickly change. So I just want to show them to you while they are looking beautiful. I am going to be, of course, completely transparent in the fact of, yes, these are working gardens, and yes, there's going to be areas that I have not gotten to yet and they're full of weeds. So there you go. It's like either they're perfect or they're not. So isn't that life? Speaking of perfect, look at this Amsonia. This is the native, and this is an Amsonia hubrichii. I don't know how you spell it, how you say it. Anyway, this is the native one. Brenna's back there trying to grab a rock, and gorgeous thread-like foliage on it. Very, very fine. This is actually a blue. It's a very, very pale blue. It might look white sometimes, but it is a blue, and just, y'all, so stinking pretty and full and gorgeous. So Amsonia, I am a huge fan. Also, huge fan. This is my beloved lemon meringue baptisia. My friends, this is about 4 feet across right here. It is a very large, very well-established, mature lemon meringue baptisia that absolutely loves this spot. She is beyond gorgeous. She is beyond perfect. I mean, there is no such thing as perfection, but daggone, this is pretty darn close. Lemon meringue, of course, has those solid, nice, lemony yellow flowers to it. Just stunning. I mean, it is a spring bloomer. When she's done as far as blooming. She's not going to rebloom again, but she'll have this really fun foliage. So it'll look very much like kind of like a grass up here. But I mean, y'all, this is when I wish Jerry was filming me, so that I could show you like the size difference, like how massive she is. But if you are interested in any kind of baptisia, because I'm a huge fan of baptisias, the key to baptisias is make sure they have plenty of sun, because they are definitely a full sun perennial, and choose the spot that you want to have them in, because they have really long, deep tap roots, and so when they don't transplant really well. So if, let's say I was going to try to move this lemon meringue, more than likely I'm going to kill it, because I can't get that tap root that goes so far down. So pick your space, really think about it. Plant your baptisia, and if you're going to need to move something, move the things that are around it, not the baptisia itself. Like, for example, I've got like a Gnaphofia right here. So if the Gnaphofia starts to get too big and they start to come in too much with each other, I'm going to move the Gnaphofia, not the lemon meringue. Same thing with this beautiful, this is one of the color spires. I want to say this is like crystal blue, looking quite nicely as well. Just a little bit of a size difference between those right there. Next, I do have plants in my garden that have sentimental value, and this iris is one of those. Have no clue exactly which kind it is. We call it Mary Beams. Mary Beam was my 7th grade science teacher, a friend of my mama's, who obviously was a great gardener years and years, and I mean like years ago. Miss Mary gave Mama some of her iris, and then Mama subsequently shared it with me. And this is what we just call Miss Mary Beam's iris. And it is clearly a nice, beautiful yellow, gorgeous, you know, leaves to it, texture, that blue-green hue with all of those beautiful yellow flowers. So she is just starting to bloom, as is Princess Anne. Last year you were with me when I planted, this is a David Alston rose, Princess Anne, and it is a standard, meaning that it is in a tree form. I bought it from David Alston like this. Don't ask me how they do it. Just buy one. And so my mama's name is Anne. I had to get a Princess Anne in honor of my mama, but y'all, just the richest, hottest pink, beautiful. It smells divine. It is low maintenance. It is just easy peasy, getting ready to just burst forth with color. And so I wanted to make sure to get in here and show you how gorgeous this is. We might not even come back and just do a plain rose tour, because the roses, some of them, you know, obviously bloom later or earlier than others. So the roses are not completely all blooming at the same time, right? Whoop, just fell off the curb. So they're not blooming all at the same time, but oh, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's think. Let's come on down here, because it really is predominantly, it is roses and peonies. Now there's still a lot of other things that are doing quite well. Remember, you were with me also when we planted, this is the new spider's wart, Transcantia. Yeah, this is Webmaster. So from Proven Winners, remember you were with me when we did this. So she has started to bloom. People were asking about her, so there you go. Really nice, soft, creamy, kind of a lavender purple flower on that one as well. Now, here we go. We've got the dianthus along here is doing great. Yes, I know. There are sections of weeds. I completely missed that yesterday. Don't ask me how. This is Paint the Town Magenta. Gorgeous, right? And then yet another baptisia. This is the Blueberry Sunday, just starting. So of course, like all plants, they have different bloom times. So your baptisias will have different bloom times. Your salvias will have different bloom times. Your phloxes, so forth and so on, will all have different bloom times. We're going to come over here because the At Last Rose is also really just beginning to pop and explode. Y'all, look at this. Is that not just glorious? I think without a doubt, the At Last Rose is my favorite from Proven Winners. For me, I have found that it has been the most reliable, the most hardy, and y'all, it smells divine. It smells like a rose should smell. And then that color, right? I mean, just exquisite. And so again, we've got tons of buds forming. When I was out here watering yesterday, and I saw that we really were getting some good true flowers to it. And I love this whole little corner right here. I love how the garden shed is filling in. Of course, you've got all the green. This is more of the same Amsonia that we just looked at, but everything is filling in. The cottage garden, the garden shed rather, just looks so sweet with the butterflies and the flowers. And then you come over here with those At Last roses, and then of course the Aromanth mulberry, Nemesia that we have in multiple places. Everything is just doing really, really well. Minus the lavender. This was my lavender topiary. Y'all, I'm really starting to doubt if it's going to come back, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about blooms and chasing flowers. The window box, look how sweet that is. Because of the wedding, we're trying to repeat and make sure that everything is nice and cohesive. This window box is doing quite nicely. Everybody is doing what they're supposed to be doing. Love, love, love that. The clematis. Don't ask me what this one is, y'all. I forgot. Oh, I planted these from brushwood, and you can see that they are just kind of intertwining here at the garden shed. But definitely clematis season is upon us as well. So it's roses, peonies, clematis, gorgeous. Yep. But this is from Brushwood Nursery in Georgia. So if you're looking for a great clematis, I would really encourage you to check out Brushwood, because mail order, a massive selection of clematis that just high quality, really great. Now, more roses. The Generous Gardener, this is the climbing rose from David Alston. We are just beginning to get our first flower buds from her, or the actual full-on flowers from it. It is covered in buds though. So we're not even close to being in full bloom, but she does have enough that I can show them to you. The Generous Gardener is very generous in her growth habit, and is a nice soft pale pink that will almost mature to like a creamy white. Again, classic old rose smell to it. I mean, just divine. Look at this. Absolutely divine. I struggle right now between Do I cut them and bring them in the house, or do I leave them outside to enjoy them outside? So really, I just do a little bit of both, right? So we've got that. Then you come on over, then these David Austins are just starting to crack some color. I was weeding yesterday, saw that we have our first Ruald Dahl, right? This is because of James and the Giant Peach, right? Gorgeous. Another great, delicious fragrance. I love the Old Rose classic rose scent fragrance on my roses. So I tend to go in that direction when I am choosing my roses. Here, each of these massive clumps, there's 3. I planted them according to David Austin to give me a nice, big, bold look. This is Susan Williams Ellis. She is a white, not quite ready yet, and then the Poet's Wife. And the Poet's Wife is a really soft yellow with some, let's see, just beginning to bud. There we go. This is a little bit of an older one, so you can kind of see how that is. But yeah, so the Poet's Wife doing quite well as well. And then we've got some azaleas. These are a little bit more struggling. Looking back, maybe I would have switched it and put the roses back here and flip-flop those. Technically, these azaleas are supposed to be taller than the roses. We'll see. You know, it's all a work in progress, my friends, all a work in progress. We talked about that it is dahlia season, and not dahlia, peony. Y'all, it's early in the morning. So the peonies this year have been phenomenal as far as their growth, their bud set, and then some of them are starting to bloom. So I'm tiptoeing here through the forest pansy bed. Look at these. These are probably 2 of my oldest peonies that I've had. One's a Sarah Bernhardt, and I don't remember what the other one is, but you can see that they're in all different stages, right? You have those nice buds, then you have, I believe they call this the marshmallow stage, right? Because it's not opened, but it's squishy like a marshmallow. There you go. So this one's this plant, as far as that, is a little bit behind. Look at this. Ah. And then because it's a cloudy day, they're not fully opened yet, but loads of buds. You've got an older bloom right here. Tell it's older, right? Because it's got some of the brown on the edges. Look, just gorgeous. Love the peonies. Now you'll notice too, especially on the ones that the buds, that there'll be little ants on. I don't know if that's going to focus on that, but there's little black ants that will go on your peonies. They are completely harmless. They are not going to hurt that peony at all. There is that wives' tale that you have to have ants in order for the buds to open. I don't think that's true. But they're attracted to the that sticky sap that the peonies produce, and so it's sweet, therefore they go for it. But they're not going to hurt them, so don't worry about, you don't have to kill the ants. They're not harming the plant whatsoever. And then I don't think it's true that they really help them open. So if you don't have ants, don't worry. The 9 bark. Mama gave me this 9 bark, y'all, years ago, and this poor thing has been through it. I mean, it has been moved multiple times. It's been a whole year hanging out in a 15-gallon tub, but she is blooming just gorgeous. I mean, the pollinators have been loving this plant. It is called that 9 bark because it will peel. And let's see if we can go in here and look. So 9 barks, they have their trunks, their stems will peel, and so it's like they have 9 layers of color. So they have 9 layers of bark. Nice and big, very happy. I hate really to prune her, but I could do a little shape up if I needed to, but she's just so pretty. So we're just leaving her alone. Now, the Western urns that you saw me plant with the same, that Aromanth Nemesia, right? And then y'all, in the center are some osteos. The Nemesias are swallowing them up, but honestly, I mean, I can't be mad about that. Look at those. Look how beautiful. And then of course there's a second one over here as well. So you put those 2 together, and then we have the Aromanths here, we have it in the ground, then of course we have it right over here at the garden shed. But my gosh, we look out at these things and they just are like glowing and are gorgeous. Speaking of glowing and gorgeous, hello, Gertrude Jekyll. So all these roses are David Alston roses. And Gertrude Jekyll, this is her going into her second full season. Y'all, seriously, dear heavens to Betsy. Like, look how big those roses are, just in all different phases and blooming and stunning, and the whole plant just absolutely glows. Love this. We have over here, this is the Brother Codful, and so I'm not sure about this rose. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but he is an interesting rose, and perhaps maybe my least favorite, I don't know. But as far as the blooms, they're just very interesting, and then, yeah, as they open up. So there's, you got some that are just massive successes, and some you're like, that's one of them. Now, Scepter d'Isle, I love. This one is perhaps one of the prettiest flowers ever. It does have a myrrh fragrance, which is not my favorite fragrance, but that's okay because it is stunning. And you can see that she is absolutely covered in buds. So this plant is not in all of her glory yet. She soon will be, and yeah, I mean, just beautiful. Perfect soft baby doll pink. Lovely, lovely color. One of my, trying to say what's your favorite rose is like picking your favorite child. It's really hard. These two are simply unbelievable. We have Emily Bronte. Of course, our oldest daughter is named Emily, so I had to get an Emily, and just beautiful. It's more of like, this looks more like creamy white, but then it does have like a little bit of a peachy pink in there. So it's more of a peach center, which blends, complements really nicely Desdemona. Desdemona is traditionally my very first rose to bloom. It's a shame she's not covered in more flowers, don't you think? I mean, gorgeous, y'all. And the fragrance on Desdemona is classic rose, classic everything you could ever think about a rose. This is it. This is why I adore growing roses. This makes all the work, all the watering, the pruning, the fertilizing, the battling black spot and aphids and Japanese beetles. This right here makes it all worth it because, oh my word, it is gorgeous. Now, we're gonna come on, we got some more. We got tons of peonies out here, and I'm gonna show you too, right off the deck. You were with me when my mama helped me plant these perennials. Wanted to give you a little bit of an update. This is the brand new, this is the Big Sky Salvia from Proven Winners. They are blooming, just to give you an idea of how they look. Obviously the plant's gonna grow a lot bigger, right? So these plants haven't even been in the ground for, I don't know, just a couple of weeks. But they are blooming, beautiful color, nice big flowers on them. So I can't wait to see them in 2 years from now. I have a lot of the Ito peonies. An Ito peony is a cross between an herbaceous peony and a tree peony. And this particular one, let's see if I can get in here. They're all labeled. Okay, this is Julia Rose, to give you an idea. This is a bloom that is old, and then here we go to one that is a little bit past the marshmallow stage, but it's a beautiful kind of a pinky rose and yellow all together. So just so much fun. And then y'all, all of the peonies this year are covered in buds. So I'm going to show you some of those as we go through here. Brenna's having quite a good time in the garden this morning. But so here we go, right? Peonies galore everywhere in here. This one is, I mean, just look at all of those buds. Beautiful, nice, classic, soft pink. Let's see if I can see which one she is. I do have the name tags, but you know, trying to find them while you're filming, it can be a little challenging sometimes. Moonstone. So here we have Moonstone. Oh, just gorgeous. So we'll put that back down there. And then, oh look, the Julia Child rose. Julia Child, gorgeous, buttery, deep butter I mean, I would love to have butter that looks like this, right? An amber color, nice classic rose fragrance. This is, you know, the story is my Emily decided to rescue this one from the nursery. When I pruned it, it was quite obvious that she was very lopsided, but she's trying to fill back out. So yeah, so there you have the Julia Child rose. If you've ever thought and considered about doing roses or doing dahlias or doing peonies or doing, like, name the plant, right? I don't care what it is. If you've ever thought about it and you're like, I just don't know, is it too much work, but you love the plant, I say go for it, right? No matter what, let's just go for it. Life is too short to sit there and hem and haw. Do you want to do it? Do you not want to do it? Go for it. I was that way with dahlias. I was that way with roses. Laura turned me on to the dahlias when we went to go visit her. She was like, it's so easy. They are so worth it. The roses, I just jumped in. I learned a lot off of the David Alston website, and they are absolutely 100% worth it, in my opinion. Now, that's the great thing about gardens, right? You may have a plant like roses, you may be like, oh my gosh, it's too much trouble, I just don't want to do them. Great, then what is that plant that you really want to do? Maybe it's one that I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. That's great, right? That's what makes the world go round, is the differences. And it's your garden, this is my garden. We can each do different things, and it's all wonderful. There doesn't have to be a right or a wrong. Differences make the world beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, another Ito. This is Bartzella, and it is a true yellow. Y'all, these things are massive. The Itos are known for their big, huge flowers. This is my very first year of my Itos blooming. And so when we planted this, I had, because we were planting a ton of plants all here at one time a couple of years ago, and I had the staff was helping me, and when they planted the peonies, these 3 peonies, they threw the tags away. And I was like, I don't know which ones they are. So I'm having to wait as they bloom to figure out who is who. So I know that's Bartzella. And then this one, I think I found it and I forgot what it is, but it is a deep, really, really rich red. And then it'll have like a yellow, well, I can't, she's not opening it up for me. She'll have a yellow inside, like a throat. So if you're familiar with the Ito peonies and you may know which one this one is, will you tell me? Just shoot it there in the message for me. But they're just all tucked in here and are beautiful. And then we have one more. She has one bud on her, and so again, she looks like she's going to be a pink. So we'll see what she is when she blooms, because I don't know. And then, y'all, this is the plant that I was about to give up on. If you remember, Mimi was with me again. This is Elizabeth. This is from David Alston. This was named in honor of the Queen, and because Elizabeth loved nice pale pink, that was her color. And so this is a gorgeous, nice, soft, pale pink rose. I got it last year. This was a new introduction from David Alston last year. And so I got it. It came to me late. It was a very, for David Alston, it was a very small as far as rootstock. I'm just thinking because it was a brand new introduction, didn't have, anyway, it had a little rough start. Last year was tough on her. And so, but as the Queen does, she rises to the occasion and she pushes through. So she has filled out so nicely. Very, very happy with that. And then because of the wedding and because we have such a nice big container here, what I did is I went around and I did, this is the double white, Super Bells double white. So I put 2 double whites, and then we did a Dichondra Silver Falls. And just did that all the way around, and so you get this gorgeous, really pretty classic container. I think it's perfect for a wedding. So there you go. So that is that. I'm trying to think what else is blooming. Well, so of course, you know, you've got more. We've talked about like the nemesias and all of that. Just to give you an update on those plants, they are all doing quite nicely back here. And the snowdrifts, what we will tackle next will be the deck boxes. The deck boxes need to get done ASAP. But yeah, I mean, everything is doing great here. Definitely, like I said, clematis season, rose season, peony season. I mean, classic spring flowers, right? The azaleas on the creek are kind of petering out, so they're not in all of their glory. So we're kind of exiting out of the the azalea season as well. But yeah, it's a great time to be a gardener, especially on days like today. Cool and cloudy, yes, thank you very much. So I'm gonna head over to the nursery and hang out with our sweet people over there and meet some of you sweet folks. and put up some containers and just have a fun time at the nursery today. As always, we hope you found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Get some peonies, get some roses, whatever you like, just get them. Life's too short not to buy the plant. All right, my friends, talk to you later. Bye.